Why there is something, and further extensions. If a lack of anything were the case, but it has no time, so no were. Well, nothing can't be, for existence has no alternative of non-existence, and so that notion is out and done with. There is no case, as in fact. Nothing cannot even be meant, much less have any properties or be productive, and so even any notion of it is forever squashed. So, something had to ever be, it having no alternative, with no option not to be, with no opposite, and with no possibility of it coming from the impossible, nothing. The something, then, is eternal, in that it is uncreated, can never go away. It is permanent as the causeless cause of what comes forth of it, which can only be temporaries. The something cannot be still and unmoving, for then naught could have become as the temporary happenings that we take as something. The impossible stillness thus gains single quote marks, akin to its relative of nothing, neither one able to be. So, the permanent something of necessity as the only true and lasting real thing can only form the temporaries through various arrangements of itself in such a way that it ever remains as itself. It has to do this because it cannot be still and is thus energetic, and so it has motion within it. Its nature has to be that the something is the simplest state of being, as partless, for it would not be fundamental as the only cause it if were composed of parts whose fundamentality preceded its own. It also has to be continuous, because it is both unbreakable and unmakeable, not to mention again that it cannot have spacers of the non-existent nothingness in it. The something is thus an existent that cannot not be. So, then, the lesser, which in this case is the least, gives rise to the elementaries, the composites, and the complex, as the temporary universe, which from our point of view as one of the temporaries might call it to be greater, in the sense that the temporary is more interesting than the simple base alone, much grander in its splendor of multiplicity, even. The transcendental notion of the lesser having to come from a greater can now be totally thrown out, as another impossible, and, besides, the notion leads to an infinite regress. That template is dead. It is also that not anything composite can be fundamental, not even the tiny proton, much less anything more composite or even infinitely complex, such as a great mind, begging the question that didn't even have to be begged. So, we have the truth, but out of curiosity as well as for the ultimate satisfaction from the proof of confirmation, we look for the physical support to the philosophy of logic in the physics of science. The quantum vacuum with this overall quantum field fits the bill to AT. The rather persisting elementaries form from excitations at the stable rungs of energy quanta in the quantum field. The elementaries don't get quantized, they are the quanta. We know the rest of the story. Quantum field theory, QFT, gave us all of physics and most of our modern devices. Universes may come and go, but the permanent existent ever remains, and anything can become of it, but they are temporaries. All that underlies our lives is now known. In the stars our atoms are slowly grown. From the quantum field elementaries. O Mars, not of how human fate is sown.